Hello and welcome back to STB Racing League Season 19 here for United States Grand Prix. Obviously, we had a race here yesterday and it was a bit of a strange one, I'll lie, in terms of racing and strategy-wise. They say car definitely shaked it up at the end, but we are looking for a good race tonight here at the very challenging, I feel like, difficult track of the United States Grand Prix. Very mixed track this is. What I mean by that, there's a lot of low speed corners, there's lots of high speed corners, and there's plenty of hairpins and medium speed corners. It's quite difficult. It's quite difficult to get set up right. Sometimes you want a bit more of a rotative car, more of a nimble car that's more willing to rotate, but then you're sacrificing the rear end with the high speed corners. Or you can go for something a bit stable, but you might be a little bit stiff and a little bit understeery. So it all depends on that, as we've got Racing Buffalo disconnecting as usual. He always has some sort of disconnection issue during the session. I can't flip in bloody invite him as per usual. Let's try and do it for here. Game card, there we go. Invite to game. Just turn off a wheel so it's not making a racket during the race. So we've got Alpha setting the first lap of the 34.4, which is actually it was a respectable lap for the first lap. I'd take that. That's pretty decent. I mean, compared to most guys in the tier 1, and most people were into the 32s, mid to high 32s, the majority of the grid anyway. Only Trish was able to get into the 31s, and everyone else is about 30.4 and back. So most people in that mid to high 32s. So I'm expecting maybe some low 33s coming to this race, maybe a couple of 32s here and there. So always something to look out for during the race. As me trying to get my brain into order. And then Storm's on a 33-0 straight off the back. So they're messing around for the new driver, Irish Storms. New driver for tonight. I don't know if I actually got him in for this race. So a very good lap from him. Able to get a very quick lap in very early on. So a bit unsure of his pace, but he can't do Tuesdays, so as he has cadets, so he cannot race Tuesdays. And then Monday, I don't think he'll be able to do Mondays. He might not be quite at the pace, but we'll see. So just getting him in. Obviously, most drivers in. We haven't got any more new drivers in from what I remember. So most drivers have done at least one race since. Tovar has invalidated his lap. It's going to be difficult for drivers to get laps in. That tier 1, not the tier 1 side, sector 1 is always a bit of a challenge, and the start at 2. Mazepin slaps in a 31.8. That? I can't remember if it was a 31.6 or 31.9 that Trish did. I cannot remember. Who's faster? Hold on, I need to look back here. Look back at the previous stream for tier 2. I need to know what lap time was what Trish did. He's not got an invite, I just sent him an invite earlier. So yeah, I mean that's a very, very quick lap time, that is, by the Ferrari driver, rapid lap time. So yeah, I mean, wow. That's a brilliant lap by the Ferrari drivers, trying to get some drivers in to spectate. R10 on the mediums. Maldi, I believe, is not even on the lap yet. So it's Buffalo, Simon, Tovar. All these guys obviously been done the validated laps. Oh, I just haven't managed to do a lap yet. So the ball was Sant. Power Devil's not racing today, his teammate and F1X teammate as well. As Mazepin's run out of fuel. Anton's done his lap. Artem is not doing his lap. And for Cetas is in the barriers. Caught that at the last second. At the exit turn 1, a bit difficult as the track drops down. It's quite bumpy in exit turn 1. So, very difficult down traction, and it's caught him off guard, and into the barrier he goes. Let's down board a torpedo. As he was saying that, he goes very wide at the hairpin. It is a very difficult corner to get right. But yeah, let's go on to the tier 2. So there's a bit of a jabby. Oh, he's struggling a bit for here. Not much confidence on those medium tyres. So yeah, I mean that's not exactly recommended. His snippets there, but he's done this bit nicely. Turn 9, he's done it nicely, cleanly. But it is in the medium tyre, so let's take that into account. So I'm just finishing off researching what the opposite time. Recipe Buffalo is finally back in. Comes down into the DRS straight open down here. Come to the seconds. I'm not sure what the delta is there for the split times for the second sector. Oh wait, no, I got mistaken actually. Image is a 30.9, so my bad. I thought it was a 32s and a 31, so I forgot. Yeah, I'm quite slow around USA, so. But it was a 30.9. But even despite that, that's still like top 5 potential for tier 2, and that's a very rare thing to see in tier 3. As there's a bigger gap between tier 3 and tier 2. Generally, tier 2 and tier 3 they're quite close. So it's still a stonking lap time there. 31.8. That time would have got him 5th place in qualifying yesterday for tier 2. So that just proves how quick that lap is. Faster than me. Well, it's not very difficult to do being faster than me, but yeah. Sky Sentinel's validated his lap. I'm struggling to find people that are actually on laps. Drulos is currently on lap on the set of softs. That corner's gone wide, but he's got away with it. It's a very difficult corner to get right. These corners. A lot of them are like apexes, and the track kind of comes in because it's quite a wide track. It's very easy to make the kart track feel. It makes the corners feel faster than what they're supposed to be, especially the hairpins. So, just going through the second to last corner. It's very easy to get this wrong. Very easy to miss the apex. Very easy to go wide. Getting validated into the last corner is actually a surprisingly early turning. Otherwise, the car will understeer. Across the line he goes. He goes at 25.5, 32.5, just behind STB Maldi. I know. I honestly don't think anyone's going to be touching at Mazepin's lap, and he's validated and he's gone backed out. I think he's validated this next lap. So he's screwed up his lap. I mean, is that still the same set of tyres? I'm not sure. No, he's on fresh tyres, so he's obviously actually did his outlap, isn't he? So yeah, he's obviously gotten about that time, so he's going to have to either do another lap and come back, or finish his lap, come back into pits and put another set of tyres on, or he can continue do another lap if he has the fuel. But from what it looks like last time, I'm not sure. He could stay out another lap, and do another lap on those tyres. But it depends if he has the fuel to do it. Some people only have the car fueled for 3 laps, so they can't do 2 laps of running. So Artem's still on those mediums. Artem likes to do this. He likes to be on the harder tyre and then do quite a few laps. Then, with enough time to go, he comes into the pits and then does a couple laps on the set of softs. But knowing USA how bad those softs can be, probably better if you want to try and do as least laps as possible on the softs in qualifying to try and save as much as I can coming into the race. So yeah, everyone's in the pit lane apart from Pirilo. See if Mazepin goes another lap. Now it's pulled back into the pits, so if the McLaren keeps going, that must be Sergio Samuel. So Mazepin is Pirilo, sorry, I got confused with the Ferraris. a 10th down in the first sector. It's not amazing, but he's still got 2 sectors to go. Sector 3, we all know he's got the most corners, and it's the most complex of them as well. That's a very, very early turn-in for the Ferrari. It's absolutely ruined his exit. It's probably lost half a second in that corner alone. So that's going to hurt him all the way down the straight. Yeah, flags. That is Saito Samuel spinning at the end of sector 1 there. We can watch Charles Mercedes come in, but didn't need that lap, so it's not like it's going to ruin his lap. Pirlo, he's 2.5 seconds down, so he's backed out that lap. There's no one else really on a lap. Who's the next person? I think that might be Ricci Buffalo. Be on board of him is the next driver to start a lap. Oh no, he's pinning back into the pit lane. Lovely. He's literally done a lap and then came back in and validated it. So he's obviously invalidated and obviously thought, come in, strap in another set of softs. But I say you don't want to be using too much. You might want a save set for the race because it might, if it does turn into 2-stop. But I did hear there was a rumour that there could be some rain. So I'm not sure if it was at the start of the race or later on. I can't remember. I did get told about it, but my memory's absolutely shocking. So we will stay on that. Iris Storms is now on the mediums, so that's very strange. He's on the softs, now on the mediums. That's a very strange strategy because I don't know if he's going to be able to beat that lap on the set of mediums. Because, well, unless his ability has the ability to find a second, because those mediums are about a second slower than the softs. So yeah, I'm just going to find something on that. Sky Sentinel's on the lap. Definitely better exit out here. I think that's a slow Alpine. I think that might be STB Maldi or Fresh. So for those Alpines coming to start their laps, so it's got more yellow flags. That's looks like a Mercedes. That must be Torpedo's a slow Ferrari trying to get away. Can I compromise Sky Sentinel's lap here? He's had a bit of range. He's got on the curb there. Bit of a sketchy range. Took it very wide into there as it cuts back in. Take a bit of a late apex. Really stretching those curves. It comes curling around the. It's a triple right-hander in this circuit, but it's supposed to be based on Turkey's turn 8, but turn 8's just counted as one corner. But this isn't. This has got technically got 3 corners, so I'm not sure how that works. But coming across the line, it's P6. He does improve by 0.3 of a second. Then if R10's still got to do a lap on those softs, and it's 0.2 up. Iris is 0.3 down on those mediums. Like I said, they are a bit slower. And you really lose more time when it comes to sector 3, as it is slower, the tyre compound. So that's Pirlo in the pits, where the big contacts of the barriers maybe look like. Who's next setting up is a Mercedes Torpedo. He's 9 seconds down, so he's not be setting up anytime soon. McLaren is next. As there is Storms, he's backed off as well. So next is a Red Bull, as R10 barely gets past where the car that was in front. I'm trying to find the Red Bull. Where's the Red Bull? Where's the Red Bull? I must have gone past it because I want to press this many times. There we go. Alpha, who's pretty much almost matched on his corner cut there. He's obviously pushed it too hard into that corner. And, well, yeah, I'm looking for an Alpha Romeo now. Julos invalidated as well, so with a bit of a move. R10 coming across on his half second up. He's on potential for P6, P5 here. And there he is, P5, so my calculations were correct. Up to P5, I mean there's definitely probably more time in that lap, but it's a respectable lap. Now he's starting his lap as well, but other cars. Oh! And it's Iris Storms! He's into the barriers. He's done exactly what I did back in the QBR esports race. That's Fresh getting out of the way in a very dodgy place. Maldi's a purple sector. He's using a lot of track there. Oh, and he's what's up? Maldi's retired. Why is he retired for? Why has Maldi retired? He was on purple sector 1. Okay. That is very strange. Maldi was a 10th up at purple. It wasn't validated, and he's just retired in the pit lane. Tears battling. Mazepin's getting an absolute slipstream of dreams from Fresh. Surely that's going to gain him a couple of tenths. He's a tenth up, so slipstream definitely helps there. Might even go in from the negatives to the positive. That was a bit of a sketchy, tight left to right hander. That was not really using all the track, but it keeps him more towards the left hand side of the circuit as he curls around a sharp right hander. Might not be quite flat out in the race. Now throw into here. A torpedo relief has just crashed not too far after where Storm's crashed. It comes across the line. It's 31.7. Just solidifies his pole position. Don't see anyone beating it. Pete's only 2 tenths up, but he's gone wide. It's going to hurt him. And he's down now. He's lost 4 tenths. STB Flow has now retired. So Pete's, well, he can still improve. He's just got to find 2 tenths now in this last sector. And I think he's the one of the last people to finish now, apart from Alpha. So, it's been not been the most exciting qualifying session. Definitely not compared to what T1 is. He's gone wide, and he was 2 tenths up as well, but he wouldn't have improved anyway. So, doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But yeah, well, yeah, that Tier 1 qualifying on Monday. That was some intense qualifying. That was one of the best qualifying sessions I've seen. Constantly changing positions. First changed pole position about, could have been out about 6-7 people could have got pole position. That was brilliant. That was obviously Tier 1. Tier 2, obviously I raced there, so I don't really know from the spectator's view until I rewatch the stream back if I'm willing to. But obviously Tier 3 never lets us down with some action. Again, we tend to have, what I like about this Tier 3 is that we have that sort of top 5, top 6 that are just a bit quicker. Then you have that sort of lower group, which I don't have about. So in that split tends to make it a bit more exciting because there's not much of a DRS train. Because, well, we saw what happened in Tier 1 in Bahrain. We saw what there was at the top 6 for like 5-6 laps straight, just DRS training each other, and I couldn't do any overtakes until all the pit stops happened. So sometimes having a big DRS train is not good. For terms of action, it might make it close later on in the race, but generally the pit stops generally faff around it. Is not too surprising, but it is a Russian 1, 2, 3, and it was an absolute insane lap by a very quick lap anyway. My Mazepin 4 tenths to Fresh. Maybe not, the gap wasn't as big as it was with MS Triss in Tier 2, which was like 6 tenths, which was insane. But Fresh in P2, Art in P3, Russian all top 3 there. So Maldi in P4 in a great position to fight those Russians. Then P5 we've got Drillos, and then P6. Irish Storms after having a crash on the medium tyres in P7. SkySense in P8, Alpha P9, Toval finished off the top 10, and people starting on fresh tyres will be Fatitas, Buffalo, Piridol, Torpedo, Sant, and Boulange and Samuel never set any lap times. Boulange, the Portuguese Grand Prix winner, not been so good ever since that race, but well, I think Boulange won that race more on strategy than pace. But it worked out for him. But he's struggling since that Portuguese race. It hasn't been quite the same. He hasn't got a podium since, I don't think. So it's interesting to see as we wait for. It is a dry start, so we'll see what the bottom, the drivers outside the top 10 will do in terms of tyres. If it's going to, well, we can use it as a gauge to learn what tyres are going on. If they go onto the mediums, the rain might be a bit later. If the rain's coming sooner, they'll be all on the softs, because obviously it is the quicker tyre, but those softs do fall off quite quickly. We might see a mix of 2 and 1 stops in this race if it doesn't rain. So that'll be interesting to see how that sussers itself out. Drinking some cider just to keep my throat nice and lubricated for the race. So you can see the pit strategies. It does say a 2-stop, but the 1-stop is possible. So quite a few of the leaders in Tier 2 doing a 1-stop. softs and mediums, about 11 on lap 12 laps on the softs, which is quite a long way. I made it to about lap 9 before I decided, no, I'm taking these tyres off. But fresh tyres is very, very good around here. Obviously, there's lots and lots of corners around the circuit. 21 corners, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So, it is very interesting. It'll be very interesting to see. Let's hope no one makes massive gaps in the formation lap. It's already seen that already. Torpedo creating a massive gap already. It's not even at the first sector yet. Everyone's outside the top 10 is on mediums. So that's telling me the rain might be a little bit later, possibly. But I'm saying that the C-Test is on the hards. So we might be going for hard softs maybe. I don't know, but we need him to pick up the pace here. As now we've got Scent really holding everyone up now. But yeah, it's to be very important. Especially you want those brakes up to temperature. You want the front tyres to be pretty warm around here for the formation lap, because that turn 1, you really need to make sure you have a good front end to get yourself round that corner. If the front tyres are cold, you're going to struggle to get yourself around there. The rear tyres are more important, obviously, because it gives you better traction, which gains more positions off the start. It gives you a better start in average, but I think time warp is a little more important around here than most other circuits, because but you don't want them too warm, because you don't want them to overheat by the end of sector 1. Give you a little bit more of an edge of grip towards the end of the sector 1. Obviously there's a lot of corners, a lot of energy, plus the dirty air is not going to help as well. Be interested to see how cars keep track of each other through that first sector. They'll come up queuing themselves to find their grid slots towards the race. Get rid of the spot the menu. Yep, here's your grid. We've got Mazepin in P1, Fresh P2 in the Alpine. We've got Artem in the Alpha Tauri. You've got Maldi again in the Alpine for P4, Dross in P5, P6, Storms in P7, Sentin P8, Alpha P9. Tovar will finish outside top 10. Festitas on the hard, interesting strategy there, and the Williams in 11th. And there's 4 lights, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. It's lights out, and away we go. Maldi seems to get a good start. I can tell which one the gap he closes on his teammate. As Artem's on the outside, 3 wide into turn 1. Maldi get a bit pinched there as the Ferrari goes through. As the Alpha Tauri's wide, and McLaren's off the circuit. Everyone quite a few off the circuit there. As Maldi goes flying around the outside of Artem. Artem had a good start, but couldn't turn it into a good finish. Oh, it's damage. There is damage to this first sector. I'm not sure who that was. It looks like it could be Pete. Looks like it seems to be going wide. Somebody's got damage. I'm not sure who it was. Somebody's definitely got damage in that midfield. Might be Tovar. He's fallen back a few positions. So apart from that, it's been a clean start. It's been no spins. Bit of a front wing damage from somebody. There is that. Yeah, I was right. Tovar. Oh! And for Cetas, on those hard tyres, must be absolutely horrendous to drive those tyres on those heavy fuel. This track doesn't got much grip. Saying that, yeah, for Cetas, it's Tovar. What happened to him? Why don't I think Tovar just have like a screen freeze or something? I don't even know, to be honest. I don't know how he's got back there. He was pretty sure he was going around turn 11 a second ago. And he's just right there now. Anyway, we go to the front of the grid. Maldi's managed to repass Artem. I continue to stare in the back of the grid. Mazepin leads the way. 7 tenths to our Fresh coming towards the last corner. Excuse me, I'm a bit gassy here because I've had food. Mazepin sits the fastest lap off. He is leading the race. Currently in Alpine 2-3. Obviously, it's going to be a bit more. It's going to be a little bit choppy when it comes to pit stop windows. Let me just double check the stream because it was being a bit funny yesterday. And I'm going to make sure that the streams are right for the rest of the race. I don't want it to be lagging. Sometimes it's something to do with 4K. looks fine to me, because yesterday we had a bit of a bug in the stream yesterday, and it was pretty much apparently lagging for the first half of the stream. Apparently live anyway. But when I look at it back, it was fine. So, a bit strange to be honest. As everyone's really finding out, got side by side, we've got Samuel, Iris Storms trying to make his way past his McLaren teammate. He needs to be ahead of him here. Iris Storms, he normally is a pad driver, but he decided to use his wheel. He's a bit slow on the wheel, so that's why he's here in tier 3. But it's sometimes nice to do sometimes. If you're getting used to getting used to the pad of the wheel. Oh, he's hill! Iris Storms hit the back of his teammates, and as he got damaged, he's trying not to avoid the Red Bull to dive into the pits. He might have damage after that. I'm not sure what happened there. I wonder if Samuel just wrecked a bit early than Iris Storms would have thought. Oh, and that's ruined his race from not very early on. And there's a front wing change on the mediums go on to the car. So we're committing onto a 2-stop strategy. If it is dry or race. As Mazepin continues to lead about a second gap. Now he's got that gap over a second. Saying that, Mazepin slow down. He doesn't want Frisch to lose that DRS. Obviously these Russians work together, and the rest of Mali's got good relationship with the Russians, with his Russian language learning. So charging down, so Frisch gains all that time back. He's closing back up again. And some yellow flags. That's Irish Storms, who has span at sector 1. He's just come out the pit lane, and he's binned it again. I mean, his target was to finish the race, and well, he's not doing that very well so far. So I wonder if there's anything going. He's gone back into AI mode. So, well, if I was him, I continue to go. Well, he needs to get back to the pits as quickly as possible, because the last thing he wants when he, well, to be honest, he's going to be lapped by the end of this lap probably when he pits. So he's going to make a move on if he doesn't want to get lapped. But he's going to lose so much time for that sector 3. So, well, it's saying that if it's a safety car, you can't unlap yourself in the game. So if he does lose and not too much time, then when he comes to the pits, he doesn't want to be getting lapped. As Fresh needs to be careful with his corner cuts, so it's a bit of a cheeky one there. Sometimes you can get away with it. As Maldi seems to be looking close here, but not close enough to make a move. As Fresh got his DRS, his own DRS. Dross is just not quite able to keep up the leaders, not in terms of DRS. He's still able to hit the gap on Pete. And this is what I'm talking about. There's always a top 5, top 6 that always seems to lead the way, and then you've got this sort of midfield group where it's kind of quite close as well. So this is exactly what I was talking about. That top 4 is very, very close. And Pirlo overtook Pete, as Pirlo's already used all of his ERS. Pete's very good on his ERS. He's painted it very, very manageably. So he'll use that advantage to repass Pirlo. He'll be very, very low on ERS. Coming towards turn 1. Obviously, that IRS going to hurt him. You saw what happened actually with STB Norris in tier 2. And that's a very dodgy second to last corner that was. It wasn't the greatest line. We saw STB Norris, he had no DRS coming down the DRS straight, not this one, the back straight. On the last lap he got swarmed by 3 drivers just because he didn't have an ERS and because he didn't have a DRS. But having that little bit of ERS would have probably helped him. But I say it's very, very crucial. Pete maybe not able to make a move right now. Irish Storms has come out just ahead of the leaders by about a couple of seconds. So, well, by about 3 or 4 seconds. Oh, he don't be doing many of them. So he needs to make sure he doesn't get laps. But these guys will be probably hitting in about 5-6 laps time. So, well, as long as his pace is good enough to not get too close to them and able to keep that gap, then he should be safe. Oh, and Artem's broke a bit later than Maldi did. Maldi's broke at the point where Thrash did. Obviously, not going to get back up in Artem a bit more daring on the brakes. Obviously got a bit caught off guard there. Only lap 5. It's going to be long races, this. Feels like it's taking a while. Not sure whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's a good thing because, well, you get to see more racing, it feels like longer, so you get to feel like you're doing a longer race to look at, but at the same time it's probably a bad thing because more in terms of my my vocal cords. So it's difficult. I mean, it'd be so much more fun to have somebody else in the gun box. I had a couple of times where I've had Milkman here, but Milkman's no longer racing here, so obviously I had once had Arden Sandra in here with me, which was nice. Just gives you a little bit more play it more tactically with your commentary. Alpha's the second one to get a penalty alongside Tovar. So early penalties already coming in. Saw plenty of penalties yesterday. Obviously that first sector is a very difficult chicane. It could be a difficult S section to get right without corner cutting. But Sky Sentinel making a move on Pirillar, but she can't quite make the move. But obviously looking to bring a move, but you get DRS on Pete as Tovar's picked up another penalty. This race is going from worse to worser. Smaldo's a bit closer to Fresh. Fresh just losing a bit of time to his Russian teammate, to the Russian friend. And they're going in early. Oh, and Maldi jumps out. Maldi's done like a dummy sort of situation there, and he's continuing. As the rest of the guys continue, Maldi will continue on. I wonder if everyone's going for the 2-stop. But again, I don't know what's happening in terms of weather. I don't know if it'd be raining. Maybe they want to pit early, get rid of the softs. Maybe it's raining in about 10 laps time. 12-15, no, in about 10 laps time, so mediums can go to the end instead of stretching out the softs and getting an absolute massive undercut, or won't get undercutted by everyone, and then the rain comes out. Then you kind of screwed yourself, aren't you? Not too cloudy right now. It's a bit of a fairly intermittent clouds right now. As what's going on here? Artem stuck behind Torpedo coming out of the pits. He's already lost DRS on this Russian's friend, so he needs to find a way through. Tovar, you can do it on the DRS. Torpedo does not have DRS, it takes a very early turning, Torpedo does, which really hurts his exit, and you can see there, Torpedo doesn't look like he's making, he is trying to defend that, but he's not going to have DRS, so if that's Torpedo, I won't bother fighting. There you go, breeze past with these. Torpedo is not racing these guys are the leaders. Artem is going to have to find another 5 seconds to get back in that DRS of his teammate Fresh. Obviously, Maldi's not there in the middle of them too, so Artem's going to find that gap back up to Fresh. That the gap wasn't there, that was there, filled by Maldi. So Maldi was there, Artem would be in DRS range, but obviously Maldi has continued on. Julas pitting, Pete's pitting, Maldi is continuing. I think Maldi's going for that 1-stop. He's got to be careful. He's got to keep those soft tyres in good nick. But this could be the best strategy. It could be the worst strategy. I don't know if it's me, but it does look like it's getting more cloudy. I don't know if that's just me or not, but it just seems like it's getting more cloudy. It does, doesn't it? It does look more cloudy. Guy sensing stall out of the back of Pirillar. As some of his leaders reading through some of the third guys, as Artem's now up the back of Alpha. Obviously the other 2 Russians have had to get past him. Now it's Artem's turn. Alpha's just literally just giving them some red carpet. Just stripped some of that red tarmac on the outside of the circuit there, and just laid it there, and they said, "There you go, through you go." And he's now down into P8 as Torpedo's now losing another position to Drillas. Again, Drillas, another one of those high running drivers who's currently running a net P5 as of right now. Maldi's still continuing. Expects him to stay out there to about lap 11, depending on how bad his tyres go. Sergio Samuel, his mediums. His mediums should be starting to kick in about now. The soft tyres start to fall away. Maldi's now pitting. Now Maldi's pitting. I wonder if there's any rain coming or not. I don't know. If Maldi was doing a one stop, sorry, it's another set of softs. It's another set of softs. Is there going to be rain on its way? Is there rain? Maldi will lose a couple of positions. There's a Red Bull in the pits. That's Alpha, and there goes his teammate. He's lost a lot of time. He's come behind Artem, which is not too surprising, despite he did an extra couple of laps. But at least he's back of one of the leaders, and you can use Artem to catch back up. I wonder if there's rain coming, because I mean it's very late to do another set of softs here. I don't know, it looks like it's getting cloudy in my end, but I don't know, it doesn't look like it's getting darker. But it's definitely strange. It's just a bit late though. It's a bit late call. He did say if he was going to do a two-stop, he said he was going to hit about lap 8. But he's gone to a set of softs though. That's what's getting me. And Maldi is fighting it. He's gone past R10. Obviously those softs are going to be quicker. I should be a fresh set of softs if he hasn't done anything in qualifying. So, yeah. Maldi's come to P6, which is now net P3 as he was before. Now coming up onto fresh and Mazepin. I just don't know what's going on. I wonder if, I'm guessing these guys pit lap 6, so they will be going to the set of softs towards the end of the race. Maldi will have to go into the mediums at the end of the race. I wonder if Maldi decided I'm going to do something different. But it's a bit strange how he's took those medium soft tyres at this stint and not the last stint. Like what everyone else is going to be doing. I don't know, maybe it's rain coming, maybe there's rain coming in about 10 laps time. And it's something where their softs can just go to that period. It does look like it's just getting, I know, it's just, we've had races where it's sunny and then suddenly in about half a lap it's cloudy and another half a lap later it's raining. But here it just looks like it's just got a bit cloudier, but it's still sunny. It is still sunny. Which is a bit baffling me. Looks really bright for how cloudy it does. Oh, another penalty. It must be like his 4th penalty. Let's look at Maldi. He's all in the back of his teammate. That's how quick those softs are. They're about a second a lap faster. Second 1.2, 1.1 theoretically. But don't forget they are 2 laps younger. So shouldn't make a massive difference, but this tyres are a good second a lap faster now. Maldi needs to use them. If he wants to get past them, he's going to get past them now. And we all know this next left-hander is obviously a very good place to overtake. But it's a bit difficult to do that, because if you try and slither one up the inside, it's a very high chance if there's somebody else in front of the person you're trying to overtake, hit T-bow them, because they're taking a lot later than Apex. Then Maldi's just able to take a bit more tighter lines. Oh, look at see how much more grip he has. Alpha gets a penalty again. Maldi's in the back of Fresh now. Maldi's looking to get his way past. Fresh is not making it easy. Maldi's going to slither one at the inside. Mazepin's running. Oh no, he's not. I thought he was running on the OS then. Again, Pirelov vibes. Artem gets a penalty. That's crucial. And so has Fresh has also got a penalty at some stage. I didn't see that. So Mazepin, I know he's quite good in his penalties, but even Maldi hasn't got a penalty right now. So that's definitely a surprise. If somebody's called STB Maldi. But it is getting cloudier now. It is getting cloudier. The sun has gone and Maldi's gone wide. He doesn't want to do too many of them. He's got Torpedo. Seems to be struggling a little bit at the back there. He's still hasn't pitted yet, and he's everyone's in front of him is pitted apart from Sergio Samuel, and he's Still in P9, despite not pitted, so it's not going to race rain, but it is cloudy now. I think there might be rain coming. And now if I was to my calculations, it could be within the next couple of laps. And Maldi's made the move! Maldi's made the move on Mazepin! Just as the clouds come in, the move has been done. Maldi up into P2, which is net P1. One of the medium runners will be trying to stretch those tyres. These mediums we know can do about 18-19 laps. So if the rain's coming in the next few laps, I'm pretty sure those mediums should make it fine. But I think Maldi's made the right strategy call here. If it is going to rain, he's used an extra set of softs to his advantage. He could have pitted a little bit earlier, to be honest. It's fast lap of the race. ERS and DRS for the European driver. The McLaren's defending that. Strangely aggressive. He's not racing him. And through Maldi goes. Now Mazepin's fresh enough to get past Sergio Daniel, who we've just seen there doesn't seem to like to give away his positions very easily. It's getting quite dark here. Rain looks imminent. If there is rain coming, that says if. But I'm just guessing when Maldi onto softs, that just seems to be the case. Because if there wasn't going to be a rain, Maldi said pretty strictly before the race, he doesn't want to finish the race on mediums if he's doing the two-stop. So that's telling me that there's rain coming. And I know Maldi. Mazepin gets past Sergio Samuel. Sergio Samuel's going to try and fight it off, but these tyres are 7 laps older, and it's just not going to work out. Next person to overtake for Samuel will be Fresh. Maldi pulls away with those soft tyres. He needs to keep the pace up because Maldi right now, I know his pace is not that quick in the wet. So if Maldi, he will try and get as much of a gap possible with those soft tyres. So when it does rain, he has a sufficient gap to keep ahead. Obviously in wet conditions we do not have DRS, so you don't have to worry about Mazepin getting DRS and suddenly closing that gap down. That gap's hovering around 1.6 right now. Got a bit of fighting towards the back. Got Boulange fighting with Facitas. Facitas defends the inside for the last corner. Very weird place to defend. Also white out for sand at the back there. Boulange coming to overtake. Might be quite an easy overtake in the ends, but Facitas is defending it. Oh, that was a bit of a weave there. And Torpedo's out. Torpedo's spun. At the third sector, there's a safety car. And this might ruin people's strategies here. Especially probably Maldi's. Because we don't know what's going on here. The rain hasn't come down yet. If it is raining, there's no rain. So if it is rain coming, what do people do? Do people risk it and go onto the inters and hope it rains during the solid safety car and gets wet enough? And if it does, will the track get wet enough quickly so the inters don't burn out when it comes to the restart? Or they can pit again for the fresh set of tyres, which RS Storms is doing. He's using that to his advantage. It's a set of softs, so I mean, he could either doesn't have enough set of fresh air mediums, or he knows there's rain coming. So there's something he knows that we don't know. No one's pitting. I mean, it's a bit too early, to be honest, to make any sort of pit stop. If you had the fresh air mediums, you could go in now if I was them, but obviously I think because of this, there might be rain coming. It's just a feeling. If it is, it's taking a while. It's taking its time. No one's made any sort of dip for the inters. I'm saying he's dipped for the inters. I don't even know if it's going to be raining or not. So, all the speculations, I don't even have a clue. Pirlo decided to scrap those hards. He's not going to lose too many positions by doing this. Actually saying that he might lose quite a few. But it's just better him to get off those hards onto the mediums, which is a bit of a strange one. I mean, good for if we want to go towards the end of the race, not so good if it wants to rain. But it does lose a couple of positions in the end, but I guess that's better than being on the hard tyres, as it's not an amazing tyre. The mediums is quite strongly, quite preferably the best tyre here. The hard's a little bit too hard, but the soft is a bit too soft around here. It's one of those strange tracks. Most circuits you have. Oh, and Boulonge is out. He's crashed into the safety car. How did he manage that? He's crashed it. It's a very strange place to crash. You crashed it at that barrier about there. And there's the rain. There's the rain. Tovo gets another penalty under the safety car. But there's the rain. That's the rain we're expecting. And it's come out now. Well, anyone. I mean, it's too early to say. I mean, it depends how. If this rain makes the track wet enough in the next 2 laps of the safety car, then it'd be worth it. But if it isn't, it could determine. Saying that Irish Storm's onto Inters. On the Inters, Irish Storms goes. Taking that risk. He's got to be careful, doesn't burn them out there. He's got a lot of time to find up. Will Maldi dip for Inters? He's got Bram as his engineer. Maldi's slowing them down. Is Maldi going to move? He is. Oh, Mazepin's passed him. And this Maldi's just lost the lead because Maldi was going too slow, creating his own yellow flag, allowing Mazepin to get ahead. No one's about who's going to have the faster pit stops. Let's see, Maldi goes. Mazepin goes, and now Maldi's lost the lead because he was too slow coming in. He didn't think about Mazepin could just repass him. He was going too slow. Now Maldi's lost the lead. All the ones enters on what pretty much is a dry track. So it's going to be a bit sketchy for them, but luckily the safety car's right there. So they won't burn out the tyres too much. But Maldi completely messing it up. It hasn't gone very well for them. The safety car hasn't helped him here. He was using those soft tyres to get ahead and build a gap. But now the safety car's come on. It's putting him back behind Mazepin in the end. And now he's lost. He's not just lost that gap, he's now behind Mazepin. So his strategy's completely gone thrown out the window. Maldi's best time to be a safety car was probably about lap 8. But unfortunately that's not the case. So rain is coming down, but will it get wet enough for the restart? I mean, we've got to wait for Irish Storms as Alpha's pushing literally Jules wrong. Not sure what's going on there. Yeah, I've got to wait for Irish Storms. Saint Tavo, I haven't pitted yet. On to intermediates. Until their red light's not flashing, as everyone else's is, as they're on intermediates. So, very interesting whether these guys are down now. It should really instantly they should pit this lap. If they do, well, they're screwing themselves over if they pit. If they don't pit, sorry. So, I wonder if they're going to pit or not. As yeah, it's unfortunate for Mazepin. Sorry for Maldi losing that position to Mazepin, but you go too slow, you create your own yellow flag within the safety car, and effectively they can pass you over in their will. As both, yeah, Tovar and Saint both pit now onto a set of intermediates. Unsurprisingly. Now Saint one's going slow into the pit stop, and then Red Bull's gone straight through. Alpha's damage, I think. He's lost his front wing. So that's interesting. Ongoing new fresh set wing. New fresh set wing. That's a new one. Track just started looking to get a bit damp now, but not significant. Taking quite a while to definitely moisten up. But I can tell by there, just looking at how Storm's understeering through the last corner. His tyres must be getting very warm. But I said, even though it's not intermediates yet, it's better to pit now, because otherwise you lose all that time pitting after the safety car, which would put you a pit stop behind. So safety car I think might be in this lap, if not next lap, but it's pit stop this off. Can't speak now. Safety car's been out for 2 laps now, so I think, yeah, especially Buffalo's retired. I think he's binned it at the turn 1. Unfortunately, that won't actually extend the safety car. So, and Pirel's got a 5-second time penalty with Tovar. Again, a bit too close for comfort here. Pirel's not overtook Tovar, and now I don't even know, y'all. I'm not sure up in there between the Red Bull and the Ferrari drivers. Safety car will be in this lap. Mazepin's going to build that gap now. There it is. Tyre warmth is not as important to me. It's still pretty important, obviously, but it's not. Intermediates don't drop off as cold as quickly and not as temperature sensitive. And a lot easier to warm up as well. Like, we're careful to get so close side by side because, well, you get contact if you do. Track looks just about wet enough now. It's going to be careful because cars are good. Mazepin's ground! Mazepin's barely managed to hold it, and Maudi's just decided, yep, I'll take that. No, never mind. Never mind. Absolutely never mind. Maudi spins it himself. That's brilliant. And did say, I'm about to say, you've got to be careful because these conditions, well, you haven't driven any laps around here. You're suddenly just going from safety car to intermediate conditions, and you have to be careful. And that's dropped Maudi down to last now. He's gone from first to last. Completely spun it on his own accord. Only himself to blame there, as Tovar is round. No surprises there. That gives Maudi free position. I think Maudi now, his target now is to get, I think, what respective place is P6. I think that is probably the top he's going to get. Unless there's going to be another safety car, which is, well, there's always a chance, isn't there? If it's a safety car in probably about 5 laps time, it might be worth going for another set of intermediates probably. Depending on how bad these tyres wear. I'm not sure how long these intermediates last in these conditions. For all I know, these could last about 20 laps. There's more yellow flags. Pete's out. Pete is out. He's retired on track. That's not a crash. That is just a pure retirement. No safety car. Pete has left the session. They've got some side-by-side action with Storms, and Alpha has since gone a little bit wide. Maldi's making his move. He's not making any prisoners here. Maldi's sweeping around the outside of Storms. Maldi basically pinches Alpha. Alpha has a bit of a moment. Maldi and Irish Storms making some moves. Storms behind the Aston Martin, understeering really bad. Look at how bad it is. Especially in the dirty air as well. Combined. Irish Storms as Saint goes wide. Oh, and there's contact, and he's pushed him off. Maldi going to take that opportunity to brave through. Irish Storms just lets Maldi through, in fact. What the hell? Okay, that was something I was not expecting. Irish Storms thinks, well, I don't want to be steamrolled by STB Maldi. Maldi's got 3.5 seconds to find there. At least it gives him a few laps to just get into the groove of the conditions. No fighting, just get some consistent laps in. Got Facitas 3.6 seconds ahead. My throat always seems to go a bit funny during these commentaries. R10 has overtook Sideshow Samuel. Sideshow Samuel doing that Barton's mediums has worked out very well for him. He's gone from pretty much the back of the grid to pretty much the front in just by making one pit stop, but he's going to be strict on the outside of R10. But Mazepin is running away with this. Mazepin is very strong in these conditions. We saw that in Singapore. He just breezed past. He just breezed away from absolutely everyone. And he's showing it here now. 3 seconds in about 2 laps. That's my favourite game, funny. Oh, Sandra Samuel has a bit of a moment. Melody's picked up a penalty, and that's going to help him in terms of him trying to make his move. And I think he made a mistake somewhere because he's now behind RS Storms. So I'm not sure what happened there. Melody's really struggling, like really struggling. Artem's now got himself a penalty as well, so that's Fresh has his own moment. It's very difficult. I think everyone's struggling with these setups and in these conditions, as that's not a correct line to take for Sergio Samuel. Storm picks up another penalty as well. Alpha Romeo is trying to slither one up the inside, but it's not going to work out in the end. There's a lot of curb in McLaren. He's gone wide, and that gives an opportunity for Drulos to make a move. Up inside it goes. He's the latest breakers, and there is contact. The McLaren goes off the circuit and comes back on just ahead of Fresh and almost ahead of Drulos. Obviously now Drulos using dumping his pack, so is Sergio Samuel. So DRS, no DRS, just pure slipstream. He's going to make a move with a late defensive manoeuvre, and he's hit the back of him. Samuel gets a penalty. Now Drulos could be losing. It could be three. Oh! And he's getting pushed off. Fresh get absolute sideswiped as Fresh is just make a double overtake. Oh, there's a massive crash! There's a massive crash! There's a crash inside on Samuel! Fresh and Drulos all part of a collision. Iron Storms and Melody will pick up these places as well, and more yellow flags looks damaged. Fresh has picked up a 10-second time penalty, which I'm pretty sure might get removed. I don't see why he deserves a 10-second time penalty, unless that could just be his 10-second time penalty for the collision. I'm not sure how it's caused. Man, he's got another penalty. Man didn't have any penalties for about 15 laps, and now he's got 2 in the space of about 2 laps. So, not great for him. Yeah, Samurai is now behind his teammate. Dross is now pit aside in the pit lane, so his top 5 result has just slid out of his grasp. RS Storms is really struggling through turn 2. RS Storms improving his pace. I wonder if Samuel got a bit of damage or not. Or maybe a little bit of tyres being worn out a bit. Maybe with a spin, maybe a little bit hot. Maldi's struggling to keep up with RS Storms. Maldi really does not like these conditions. And there's more yellow flags. That's Tovar. That's Alpha. And there's another safety car. Will anyone pit for Fresh Evans? Just give them a little bit extra grip. Maybe the bottom 5 can probably afford to. The leaders can't afford to do that. It's definitely shaking things up a little bit more. Definitely favours people that underfield the car slightly. We're about to hit now over the stream. We're still with 8 laps to go. Excuse me, I'm very gassy. Very gassy, as usual. Sky Sense in P5 right now. It's actually a pretty decent second half of the race. As everyone continues, no one's going for pit stop. RS Storms is going to pit for fresh air winters. That's interesting. Maldi says Maldi. All going to pit fresh air winters. Just give them extra grip. We're not going to lose too many places. So. McLaren comes in, and he's got a 5-second stop go penalty. When did that happen? When did that happen? When would he get a 5-second time penalty? I'm seeing getting 2 3-second penalties. 5-second time penalty. Incidents. Oh, this might take a while. Yeah. 5-second penalty. Maldi. Ignoring yellow flags. Interesting. And he's not going to get removed it now because he's pitted for it and got rid of it. He could have stayed out and got it removed, but Maybe that's the wet tyres on that. What the hell's going on here? Why the hell is he on wet tyres? If this rain's getting heavier, this could either be a 200 IQ move or the most dumbest thing ever. This could be a Pure Gas League 2000. This could be a Pure Gas League German Grand Prix of 2018. Or it could be peak strategy masterclass. So another safety car, another few laps under the flags. I mean, the rain doesn't look that heavy right now. Nothing enough to make it really feel like it's wet tyres. So yeah, I mean, I'll see how this goes. It'll be interesting to say. I mean, I've run out of things to say again. So we'll see how this goes. Currently, Mazepin in the lead. R10. Obviously, everyone stayed out. Irish Storm's Melody and Pirillo. Pirillo's gone to the wets. Just don't look very good, to be honest. Not sure that's the way to go. Don't think there's enough laps left to really make that count. Unless it really is got heavy rain coming. Alpha's left on, he's retired anyway. Pirol's not making a decision to pit, so he's committed to that wet tyres. The safety car should be in this lap. Should be. Safety car needs at least 2 laps to race. Or was it 3 laps? I think it's 3 laps actually. So, well, even though that's the case, he's still got 3 more laps. If that was the case, but the safety car's not going to be out for 3 more laps. Safety car will be in at the end of this lap. It'll be 2 lap of safety car since it was a bit more bunched up from the previous safety car. So, getting racing as quickly as possible, which is best for me. Let's get back to racing. Be interesting to see what Irish Dom's Maldi does. Obviously, Maldi's struggling a bit in the rain, but I don't know if those fresh tyres are going to make a massive difference, to be honest. And Tovar has gone really slow, and Saints just... I don't know what's going on with Tovar. He's a bit... I think he's been smoking something today. Doing a lot of safety car overtakes during the round in. I think Storms and Maldi should be able to get past Tovar and Saint pretty quickly. I know Saint Tovar, I think 2 of the more sort of back markers. And need brake checks the back of Irish Storm there. Irish Storm has to weave out of the way. Got away with damage as the cars are about to go off. As Mazepin's queuing up all the drivers. Yeah, most logical place. He could go now. He could go at the last corner. He's gone now. 17's got a 3 tyre penalty before you even get restarted. As they're now setting off as Saints in the pits. So that's giving everyone up behind him a position or nothing damage. Storms is now at the back of Tovar. Pirillo on his wet tyres, not working out very well for him, unsurprisingly. It's just not wet enough. ST Maldi looking for a double overtake here. Going to try and get past Tovar, but he's got to really stretch it around here if he wants to make it work. He has. Around the outside, that's a brilliant overtake. It is a bit of a bump as the Red Bull just turns in. Maldi like he's not even there. Maldi makes a corner cut, but it's worth to make a position ahead. There's more yellow flags. That's Sideshow Samurai round. So that's another car all the way. Fresh. After having a bit of a hiccup moments during the safety car period, I think he had a bit of a... Oh, it's Arton, I think it was, a little bit further behind. No, I can't remember. Memory's there, too bad for it. But the only problem is Mazepin, that's got rid of his big lead that he had. So this time he hasn't got Silent Samurai behind him to back them up. So Mazepin's going to keep this lead. He hasn't got a penalty yet, which is going to help him. Tant's on the set of wet tyres. I'm not sure that wet tyres is really a good idea. Like, they're struggling so much. It's definitely not wet tyres yet. If it is going to be wet tyres, it probably won't be until the race ends. You can just see he's struggling for grip and he hasn't got no pace. Not incredibly slow, but just slow enough to the point where he's losing about a second or two a lap. It's not like he's... It's not like the terrible tyre, but it's not like it's going to be working. I mean, it could be better on from later on, but I don't think it'd be sufficient to gain enough time in this amount of laps. Irish Storm looking to, after having just a poor start, he's taking... This is why you stay in the race, because you don't know what's going to happen. All these people that retired, that just give up or don't think it's worth keeping going. Irish Storm's been almost got lapped by about lap 6, lap 7 before the first safety car. Now he's P5. That's commitment right there. That's commitment. So up into P5 it goes. Next person to him to be next one is Maldi to overtake Sentin if he can. I'll put him up in there, but I'm not sure. I mean, it's 4 laps to go. Or about 4.5 laps to go. Irish Storm's now got to chase after the leaders, so it's going to be a bit difficult for him. This is another level almost. Sky Sentin gets an absolute horrible exit. Sentin's using his overtake, so is Maldi. Maldi can't make a move anytime soon. Maldi's going to slither on the inside here. Sky Sentin's given the space, didn't have to. Maldi was going to back out there, but Sky Sentin gave him the rein. Maldi's going to do a cheeky switch back here. Don't cut the corner. Squeeze out for the Aston Martin, Tim Liège. Off, and he's made the move stuck, but he has lost 2.5 seconds to Irish Storm in doing so. So it's hurting a lot. Irish Storm's actually catch up to his leaders pretty well. He's doing pretty well. I think he's actually moved back onto the pad. He has. Irish Storms has moved back onto the pad. He did say if it did start raining, he's moving back onto the pad, and he has. He's still warming up to that wheel. Obviously still getting used to it. He's a lot more comfortable on the pad. As you would think so, despite having much more years on experience on it. It's going to take him a good few months to get used to the wheel. Obviously it doesn't just happen overnight. So, oh, he's run on there. I think he's gone into pause and he's lagged. Bit of lag there. Everyone has a bit of a lag spike every now and again. Fresh has lost a lot of time to the top two. Does not have the pace of the top of the. Oh, he's friends of the motherland. Just doesn't have the pace compared to the R7 Mazepin. Pasitas is keeping up with them. Irish Storm's lost a bit of time there because of that little lag moment. I think I had a little bit of screen freeze maybe. I don't even know if the screen freeze is still in this game, to be honest. Maldi looks like, from the way it's going, he'll be P6. Irish Storms will have to commit for P5. Vitas, despite starting the hard towards the start of the race and having a quite terrible start to the race, he's got the inside of Fresh here, but I just have a better exit. And this is going to help Irish Storm here. Yeah, it's going to help him because these guys are slowing each other down. It's going to give the McLaren a chance to catch back up. I'm not sure what penalties. I know actually Storm's actually got quite a few penalties. So as Facitas gets a little bit of a punt there, and Facitas gets through. Oh, and he's almost cut Fresh off. That could have been a massive crash. Facitas has outbraked himself. And Irish Storms is just closing up on this battle. Maldi unable to keep up here. Irish Storms is now within a second of these guys here now. So, looking very good. He's doing really well for just jumping straight onto the pad in these conditions. It's not something you can just quickly do. This is multilingual, but not multilingual. You know what I mean? Like you can just change over straight to another type of. input device, as that Williams is not giving him any room. He's turned in on him like he's not even there. And McLaren slips through just about. He's not going to use that overtake to his advantage for Cetas also dumping it, but when he gets his slipstream, there's any DRS. The rain is looking very heavy, by the way, now. For those wets, still not them off. Cetas making a dive at the inside of McLaren. Cetas just about squeezes through. Doesn't want too much of this because Irish Storms is still fighting for that podium despite having all those penalties. Don't know what's going to be on the end of the race. I'm not going to check. Maldi's coming up to the back of these drivers now as this battle is really helping him catch up. Don't lose about 2/10, Maldi. But yeah, Fresh is really struggling, which is making this train, which is Irish Storms just breathing through now. It's looking very wet out there now. Could almost be wet tyres as Cetas goes wide. As he's gone wide again, he's not liking these little last couple of corners. Fresh is defending from Storms. We've got 2 laps left of this race. Mazepin continues to lead by just over a second. As Fresh leads just by 0.3 of a second, or about car length. As Maldi's having a bit of his own moment. Sky Sentin, Tovar and Samuel having a little moments in the back now. Samuel's got lost all his pace in his intermediate conditions. Storm's continuing to try and find a way past Fresh as Fresh has found a bit of pace all of a sudden. Oh! Irish Storm's almost lost it there as Maldi picks up another penalty. I think that might be his 3rd penalty. It's not been good in terms of penalties for Maldi now. It looked so good. He's one of the few people that didn't have a penalty at one stage. Now he's picking up all these penalties. Does not like these conditions. He's not just quick in these conditions, he just struggles in general with consistency and penalty wise. As Irish Storms is not quite close to making a move, but neither is Cetas, who almost drives in the back of him on the braking on the curve, who just misses the apex. Maldi, oh, Maldi's having his own moment. He's having his own party, just the back of that. I think he's dancing. But yeah, Sanderton's got his own penalty, so that might help Maldi later on in the race. Samuel also picks up another penalty, it's also going to help Maldi with penalties. So, all the penalties are. I don't know what's going on here. For all I know, Artem could have 12 seconds of penalties, for all I know, but I don't think he does. But penalties could be a massive play in this now. Maldi's too far back to make a move. Cetas is too far back to make a move. Irish Storms just about too far back to make any moves. He's going to stick on the inside, his double lock up. Oh, and that's going to be cut, and that's giving another penalty that I think Storms might be losing the match. Oh! A Fresh has made a mistake. Cetas goes around the outside, almost touching each other. That's now. Oh! And there's more collisions, and there's pushing and shoving. They don't want to give up each other positions here. Not giving up here. Fresh does not want to lose another position. There's more contact, and there's a clash, and that's not surprising. They're really not happy about that. Don't want to lose to each other. But Maldi watches on as he's continue fighting. Artem's getting a bit closer to Fresh, to Mazepin, but doesn't look like he's going to make a move. Mazepin's got 80% ERS, for God's sake. Maldi's looking to make a move now, but Fresh has got lots of overtake to play with, so I don't think that's going anywhere in terms of positions gained. Maldi's tyres, he's 3 minutes, he's 12 laps old, they're not that old. So, nothing's new as Maldi's gone up the inside of Fresh. One overtake. Cetas is next, but I don't think that's going to be moving anytime soon. Santis crashed just about on the finish straight. Maldi takes P5. Artem's looking closer to Mazepin, but nothing to make any threat. Looks like Mazepin will win this race once again. I can't remember, I've lost track of how who's won how many times now. Fresh has struggled in his last couple of races, I think. But Mazepin will cross the line to win the race comfortably by 9.5 seconds. Irish Storm will probably drop a bit. He will be P3 across the line. He will finish P4. P5 will be Maldi. Irish Storm will finish P4 in the end. So Maldi will finish P5 for Cetas. Will pick up P3. Irish Storm will be P4. Maldi will be P5. That last penalty really hurt him in the end. So did Irish Storm. It's all hurt the penalties really did in his last few laps here. Sky Sentin will finish P7 in the end. Fresh lost so much time. Obviously penalties have hurt him as well, but he lost so much time fighting with Facitas. Just think about it, he was fighting Facitas. Now according to this, there's about a 10-second gap between them. So, yeah. Tovar will finish P8. Sergio Samuel had a disappointing last few laps, running in the top 5 for the most part of the last 10 laps or so. Will finish P9. Certainly the rain created a bit of a kerfuffle. Facitas driver of the day. I mean, I think that seems right, and it's, as I say, rain has stopped here. Obviously, normally in the game, sets it off from what would be 100% race. So if we did another race here, it looked like it would probably dry out if we did a 100% race, but we don't do 100% races, do we? It is a Russian 1-2 with a Chilean in P3 for Facitas. STB does get the fast lap in the end, so he's got something there. But your race winner, 51 minutes long the race was. You can see Mazepin, somebody's ready up very quickly, so to do it's done quickly. Artisan P2, Facitas P3, Irish Dawn P4, Melody P5, Fresh will be P6, Skellington be P7, Tovar P8, Sigel Samuel P9 with 18 seconds of penalties, Piriol P10, Saint P11, and your DNS were Alpha, Junos, Pete, Ritzy Buffalo, Boulange, Torpedo are your DNS. Melody will get fastest lap in the end. I say driver of the day could be Facitas, but I think I might have to give it to Irish Storms. There was a great comeback from pretty much last, almost being lapped. So that was a great race there. And well, that's the end of this for tonight. We will be back for Tier 1 next week as we go to, I believe, I can't actually remember what the next track is. It could be Saudi Arabia. It could be Saudi Arabia, or it might be Abu Dhabi. Somewhere. I think it's Saudi Arabia. So yeah, despite that, it was a great race. So Tier 1 will be Saudi Arabia for next week. So come for the first ever Saudi Arabian Grand Prix here for Tier 1 next week on Monday, and for Tier 2 and Tier 3 it will be going to the heights of Mexico City, and then the week after then it'll be Saudi Arabia for them. So come back for them. Thank you very much for watching, and we will see you next week for Tier 1 in the first ever Saudi Arabian Grand Prix here for STB.